This video will talk about the leadership transition process for student organizations and tips that SOA has for you and your group members as you navigate the process. This topic is important for a variety of reasons. SOA recognizes that leadership transitions within student organizations are unique in the sense that the length in the role is often predetermined, meaning the role is often established as one academic year or 3 quarters before the next person applies and comes into that role, so there is a specific end time established. On that note, the role may have a different feeling of limitation. For example, some may transition roles in April, and if it's March, they know they only have another month in the role and start to lose steam. And then the transition process is often overlooked and done in a sloppy manner. But I want to emphasize how a smooth transition from one student leader to the next is truly one of the key pieces for success of the organization. Proper transitions prevent confusion. They prevent missteps and they help avoid mistakes made in the past. Just a little bit of effort in this process can make a huge difference for the incoming leaders and for the organization at large. At the very least, the person who is leaving the role should grant admin access to the incoming officers on the group's Cats on Campus page, whether it be president, treasurer, or a different role. The incoming person should also sign into the group's SOFO account, and the outgoing person should sign out of the SOFO account. More information about this process can be found on SOFO's website. Of course, make sure the incoming officers have access to the organization's email and social media, to the listserv, to the office door if you have a space in Norris, to the storage unit off campus, and anything else. All of that information, those passwords, the swipe access, need to be transferred over. An introduction to the group's advisor is important too. It is only fair to the advisor that you keep them in the loop when someone is departing from the organization and when someone is entering, especially a leadership role, offering them the contact information for the new student leaders. The incoming board should take time to meet and build rapport with the advisor so they can better support the org throughout the academic year. The expectation is that you meet with your advisor at least once per quarter. It's super important that a transition meeting between students is conducted before the person exits the role. This helps the incoming person understand the basic requirements of the role and gives that person a strong sense of direction. Of course, the incoming person can and should feel empowered to make the role their own. Doing something one way in the past doesn't mean that the incoming person needs to follow the exact same way of doing things, but it at least gives a helpful outline as to what the expectations of the role may be. Preparing a transition document will be the ultimate key for success for your group. What this means is establishing and writing down the position, summary, and expectations for every single executive board member role of your group. Think about the financial management and social responsibilities. Who's running social media and how does that work? How does recruitment work? Who is responsible for signing up for the org fair tabling? Who's helping with event planning and how? Who are the community partners with whom you work? Who does the community outreach? Who are the primary contacts? How does general communication operate? Get it in the document. Nothing is too obvious for a transition document, and that's because once this document is created, it can just be edited from year to year. So, if you are willing to put in the work and the labor for your group right now, it's really going to save folks down the road. I want you to be thinking through the smallest details, account logins, passwords, name on reservations or contracts, storage units, key access, contact, information off-campus vendors, and SOFO account details. Nothing is not important enough to be in this document. Again, it's something that can be referenced at any time. Your advisor can even reference it, and anyone who reads through the document should be able to understand exactly what's expected. There shouldn't be coded language in there because that's not helpful to an incoming person who doesn't necessarily understand the specific lingo of your organization. Build this document as you go. This is not something that you should be creating in a week before you're departing the role. This is something that you should have as an ongoing, living, breathing document throughout the academic year that you can just quickly pop bullet points into of what you've been up to. So, at the end of the year, all you need to do is polish it before it's time to pass the baton to the next person. I need you to remember that this is for your own benefit. This is not only for the benefit of the incoming leaders. This is just for the benefit of the whole group. Having things in writing helps folks understand expectations moving forward and makes it more seamless of a transition process, especially for organizations that have a lot of connection with external vendors and community members. In the module, we have attached a leadership transition checklist and the leadership transition document template. The checklist is a fairly generated checklist, but certainly has some things that you absolutely must do before transitioning out of your role. We also have a general template for a leadership transition document, so you're not starting from scratch. So go ahead and download those two resources and use them during your transition period so that the next people who are coming into their roles are really set up for success. Thanks for watching.